Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the Moments Podcast. I'm your host, Lexi, and I'm excited to chat today about all sorts of things. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a whirlwind, I'm assuming. I want to give you a proper life update, get you caught up on all the things I have going on. I want to reflect a little bit on last week's episode. If you haven't listened, I would go listen. It's all about how to stop the negative thought loop. Stop thinking negative things about yourself, about the world, and how to just cut all of that off. I've been working on all the things we talked about in last week's episode, and I just want to touch on them a bit as we go through this little life update. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I feel like I've been all over the place in the last couple of days. I feel like I've gone through such a roller coaster of emotions, and these life update episodes are really hard for me because I have no idea how to structure them. I have no idea if anybody cares about my life or what I'm doing or what I'm learning from it. But as I'm moving forward, I'm working on letting go of wondering if anybody cares and reminding myself that I care and that someone cares and that someone out there is going to hear something that they're going to take away from this, and hopefully it's going to positively impact their life in some way, shape, or form. And I think that that's kind of the way that all of us need to think moving forward. Stop, wondering if what you do is going to be liked by a certain person or by somebody or by anyone, and start wondering if it's going to be liked by you. Because I think that the more you focus on if you're doing things for other people, the less you will even recognize if you're doing something that you even love anymore. Not sure how to completely explain it, but I hope that made sense. First thing I want to touch on life update wise is that I'm almost at the 1 year mark of the Moments Journal. For those of you who are new here or those of you who don't know, the Moments Journal is a guided journal that I started writing and designing back in 2021. To me, it feels a little bit like yesterday, but in reality, it was like 4 years ago, which is insane. I can't believe the time has flown by so quickly. But the reason that I made this journal and I designed it is because I think that journaling and working through your feelings and everything that you're experiencing, but also just documenting your life as it happens, is really crucial and really important and a really special thing to do. One day we're going to be old and gray, and if it is up to me, hopefully I'm going to have every journal that I've ever filled out and written in since I was this age and 4 years ago me. And hopefully I'll be able to look back on the stories and the memories and the things that upset me and just be able to recognize that they literally didn't matter at all. And I can just look at my life then and be like, wow, so crazy, everything was so silly. But also just, I think that writing down your life and journaling about your life is so important because it's the only way that we really start to pay attention to our patterns and our thought processes and just why we do the things that we do, why we act the way that we act, why we experience the things that we experience. If you're somebody who, say for example, you often have falling outs with your friends, if you're journaling about each and every one of these, you might be able to eventually see hey, the same exact thing keeps happening. Maybe I actually have a role in this. Maybe I play a part in this. And maybe the opposite. Maybe you'll look back on a situation that you used to completely blame yourself for and realize that you've spent so long blaming yourself for something that was completely out of your control, something that you could have let go a long time ago. And I just think it's a really healthy thing to do. I think self-awareness is huge. I think knowing that we can grow and we can constantly evolve and learn and become better people is a key part of life. And I think that that's why I fell so deeply in love with journaling. And then I designed the Moments Journal to basically help people learn how to start journaling. Because for me, it kind of started as writing in a diary. I would say, dear diary, da-da-da-da-da. And then I started turning it into kind of prayers sometimes, where it said, dear God, da-da-da-da-da-da. And eventually I just kind of learned how to write about things and when to write about things, but there is no proper way. But the Moments Journal provides you with prompts to kind of dig into the depths of your soul. Questions that can be simple, but you can also make them a lot deeper than the surface if you'd like to. It's a journal for beginner writers or people who have literally never journaled in their life or people who journal every single day of their life. there's something in there for everybody, okay? And I want you guys to go check it out. I kind of get disappointed in myself because I don't talk about it enough, and it's something that I'm so proud of. But again, like I've been talking about in the last few weeks of this episode, or these episodes, and just in general, like my brain has been in a weird dark place that's so negative towards myself and anything that I've created, and it's been really hard for me to feel proud of myself. And as I've been practicing everything I talked about in last week's episode, I'm transitioning from that. So I'm so proud of this journal, and I know that you guys are going to love it. And along with every prompt, there's also an affirmation that you can kind of read at the end of your journaling session, and it can just give you a little bit of closure, give you a little something to think about. But I hope that you guys love it, and I'll put the link in the description. And I don't say all that to just give you a call out to buy my journal. I mean, as much as I'd love that, and I love the support, more so I just wanted to remind you to journal about things, because I've recently tapped back into it on my own, and it's been really wonderful for me. Like, no pressure, just like jotting things down, literally scrambling my pen around in circles, and like writing down words that I'm either words of things that I'm trying to let go of in my life, or things that I'm trying to add more of in my life. Like I'm writing and I'm dumping, and I could not recommend it more. And it's been very healing for me in the last few weeks / month or so. So highly recommend. That is my first update. My next update, I'm figuring out which order to do this. I wrote a couple things down, but we know that I'm not the best at following an outline. But I want to talk a little bit more about just this dark mindset that I've been in. And I don't even want to call it dark, because it's the weirdest thing in the world. I've genuinely been happy as a clam. I've been happy as can be. I've got good people in my life, good things going on. I'm getting things done, sort of. My work is fine and successful, but I haven't had like this desire to create in the way that I used to. And I was kind of just like getting really angry at myself for that. I think that social media is weird, because after a certain point, when you've done it for long enough, it becomes so much more than just taking videos and posting them on the internet. And I know this is such a controversial conversation. I know that everything that I do is like the most biggest blessing of a job in the whole entire world. But it gets to a certain point where there's a lot more that goes on beyond just creating and being a creative and finding a way to tell a story and capture things and share them. There becomes many more conversations, many more emails, many more admin things, and just like so many things that can get scrambled up in your brain that take away the space in your brain that used to be the place that you created from. And I don't really know how to fully explain that, but what I think I've been feeling lately is that my brain has just been so overwhelmed by things that I'm thinking about in and out every second of the day, that whether big or small, my brain has just been consumed by things that aren't actually my passion anymore. And it's been more consumed by things that used to be, trying to figure out my wording here. I used to have more time to create and more space in my brain to be creative and to think about how to tell stories and to research things that I want to share, and just like let this continue to be fun and let it continue to be successful. It's been a lot less of that and a lot more feeling like I'm constantly playing catch up, because one thing you guys know very well about me at this point is that I'm unfortunately not the most organized person in the whole wide world. As much as I wish I was, I'm extremely type B. I'm diagnosed multiple types of ADHD, but I'm unmedicated by choice. I just love the way that my brain works sometimes, but when it comes to like admin type of things and organizational type of things and scheduling things and emailing back and forth and just, I don't even know what kind of examples to give, but I struggle really bad with structuring essentially everything. And even now, whatever I was just talking about, wherever I was going with that, just completely got off the train and the track. Moral of the story: what is wrong with me? Guys, this is crazy. I get so caught up in like the words that I'm saying that I forget what the whole thought was. It's the worst when that happens. Point in case. So I have taken initiative with my team and right now my mom is kind of the one who helps me with these things that I struggle a lot with when it comes to like scheduling things, structuring things, making different schedules or whatever it may be. And, having your mom, working in a business with your mom, being business partners essentially with a mother, is not for the weak. It's really hard because there's been so many times in the last few years where it's like I want to be able to call my mom and not have to talk about work. And we go in phases where sometimes it's really easy for us and sometimes it flows really easily and other times it's more of a struggle. But there would be times where I just want to talk to my mom on the phone and we'd end up talking about work and I'd end up hanging up the phone just being like stressed out or more stressed out about what I needed to do or just frustrated in the sense that, when you already know that you need to do something, you already have something on your list. Like say you were planning on washing the dishes for your parents and then all of a sudden your parents ask you to wash the dishes. Suddenly it's like the last thing that you want to do and you just run so far away from the kitchen. Imagine that on like a really big scale and a really important scale, with deadlines to meet, with things to schedule. It just wasn't the healthiest dynamic and it worked perfectly for us. My mom's still my best friend. I love her with all my heart, but like there were times in the last few years where I would just get so mad and it would almost make me want to just like stop doing social media, stop needing my mom to help me with anything. And then I'd just be angry at myself that I couldn't remember to do these things and that my mom had to tell me. And it was just irritating because it was my mom. Like nobody wants their mom to have to tell them what to do, especially when it comes to their career, when they're grown. I'm 24. I don't want my mom reminding me that I have a call, but it's what I needed. And that's what I need in my life. So the exciting news for me is that I have a manager now, and I don't exactly know how to describe the position of a manager, but she helps me with everything that my mom would help me with in the past when it comes to, scheduling calls, staying a little bit more organized, just because there's like so many things going on so constantly, yet like it just paralyzes me and makes me feel like there's nothing going on. It's a weird dynamic that happens in my brain and I'm not sure everybody will understand it, but she is like the type A to my type B. And we just got started this past week and I am so beyond excited and so beyond grateful. And I already feel a world of a difference in my mind, just feeling at peace that like I have somebody who's kind of looking out for me and who's helping me and who wants to see what I do grow and wants to see me grow and like believes in me. And I know that, outside validation shouldn't be important. And the first step really is believing in myself and believing that God believes in me, and continuing to follow his purpose for me. But it feels really nice also when somebody is choosing you, and like knows and believes in you and sees potential in you and is like, I'm going to help you. We're going to do this together and everyone's going to thrive. And I guess like the reason that I wanted to share all that is one, because I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. I'm always going to be honest. But two, I think it's really important to recognize that everything in your life is going to kind of ebb and flow. There's going to be times in your life where you do need help, and it's okay to need help. It's okay to, delegate everything that you have going on. It's really easy for the world to kind of make us feel like we have to be the one doing it all, and we have to be perfect at what we do, and we have to be able to manage 18 gazillion different things at one time, and make it look easy while we do it. But the reality is that you don't. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to struggle sometimes. It's okay to admit that you can't do this one certain thing. I feel like there's so many people that I watch on the internet sometimes, and I see them capable of. It's weird because this career is such an interesting one. It's a position that's so highly, I'm trying to think of the right word, criticized maybe, because there's so many different levels to it, and it is like such a blessing of a job, but that's not to say it's not a time-consuming job. So my point to that is that when I follow certain creators and I see them posting consistently on YouTube twice a week, but also posting 2 TikToks every single day, but also posting on their Snapchat, and to anybody who's not in the social media world or creator world, this might sound insane. I know it sounds insane, not posting on Snapchat, also posting on Snapchat, also linking every single outfit, also keeping, their storefronts updated, their link in their bios updated, also having a podcast, also, okay? There's so many creators that I follow that I feel like are just doing it all, and I can't really wrap my head around how. And in my head, I want to be like that. I envy the people who can do all of that. But then I remember that there's a whole team backing these people. They are being helped to get to these points and to do those things. And I think that also, like, remember that as you follow creators, as you follow different influencers and people, remember that they live a unique lifestyle. You see people doing a lot, whether it's traveling or getting gifting or going to fashion shows, or, every influencer has different niches and has almost different benefits, I guess, to what they do. People who are in high fashion get to go to all these like Louis Vuitton fashion shows and Paris Fashion Week, and people who are travel bloggers get to go on free trips to Thailand and Bali or wherever it may be. Mommy bloggers get free stuff for their babies and brand deals, and I don't know. Everybody gets different things. There's different perks to every single niche of influencing or social media. Again, lost my train of thought. But they get these things because of just a slow, consistent build of like pushing yourself on social media. And this episode is often asked for, and it's people asking, how do you become a content creator? I would love to make an entire episode of that. If you're listening to this and that is something that you think that you're interested in, please let me know, because I want to give you all the tips and tricks that I've learned. I've been in this industry now for like 5 years. I am obsessed with this job. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I think it has its pros and cons, but its pros like way, way, way outweigh its cons. And it's a hard point to get to, but it's really, really, really cool, and it's really rewarding to build a community that you can connect with about whatever it is that you are interested in, whatever it is that you want to build a following on. Like taking your passion and then being able to share it with people who share the same passion is just so fulfilling. And I think that getting into content creation is really cool if you're doing it for the right reasons. I think that there's a lot of people who want to just get on the internet and be a influencer or content creator just because of the perks that come with it, or the free stuff that they could get, or the trips that they could go on. But I think where the longevity comes in this career is if you do it for the right reasons. If you do it because you want to build a community, or you feel that you have something to share, or you want to inspire somebody, or you just want to take everything that you love and share it with people who love the same things, and build a massive friendship with people that you can talk to all over the world. I feel like if that is something that you're looking for, then maybe this is a career path for you. And if it's something that you just want to do because it's like free stuff and you think it's a cool life, but you don't actually care about the following that you'd build, because unfortunately there's so many people that don't, and like literally don't give two craps about the people that support them and make their lifestyles possible, I don't know that it is something for you. But I got way off track there. If you want me to make a video on just my tips for getting into content creation, I would love to teach you how to do so. So just send me a DM on Instagram, or I think you can comment on podcasts now too. So you can comment, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment on the YouTube video, and just, let me know if you want to see that. The next thing I kind of want to touch on, while I'm on the topic of just like things that I was struggling with mentally and that I'm working on now, I've been in like a major need for change in more than just my career lately, to be honest. In my creative mind, I think that, like I've been saying, my brain is just so clogged, it's so cluttered, but I don't even know what it's been cluttered with. Like, you guys know the Taylor Swift song, It's Me, Hi, I'm the Problem, It's Me. I've just been feeling that lately, because I've been taking such non-issues and I've been turning them into problems, and I've been starting arguments for absolutely zero reason. I've been getting upset with people around me about things that are literally things that are in my control, and things I have everything to do with me and nothing to do with the other person. And I've just been really making myself my own worst enemy. I've been like sheltering myself into this little ball. I've been making myself feel like so, and again, we touched on this so much in last week's episode, so I'm not going to get too into it right now, but I just feel a little bit more confident in vocalizing it now, because I'm so clear that I am the problem, that I have been the problem, and I'm the one creating issues for myself for no reason. It's really important to have that level of self-awareness where you get to the point in whatever it is that you're going through or struggling with that you're the one who can fix it. Like, I've been saying like a lot. I apologize for that. Granted, there's so many situations where you are not in control and your brain needs to go through what it needs to go through, and you're going to have to go through things that aren't going to be easy, 1,000%. But so many times we are the ones that are creating the problems quite literally for ourselves. And I've just been feeling like I have no confidence lately. I've been nervous to even film myself in front of my camera. I've been nervous to have to film a video in front of my fiance who loves me, because in my head I'm saying, oh my gosh, what if I do something that makes him think I'm cringy, or I give him the ick? I'm like, this guy's marrying me. What in the drama? You know what I'm saying? There's no need for us to do that to ourselves and make ourselves our own worst enemy. And kind of just having that realization, it helps me step out of it a lot. And yesterday I actually got to do this really exciting photo shoot for something that's coming out in May. I don't think it's super top secret, so I can tell you guys. I'm doing a little jewelry collaboration with this amazing company called Electric Picks. I am actually wearing one of the necklaces now, and the bracelet if you're watching on YouTube, and the ring if you're watching on YouTube. But I've loved this company for so long, and as you guys know about me, I wear jewelry. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, all my bracelets are off because when I did the photo shoot yesterday, I only wore the one that I'm doing in the collab with them, and my wrist got sunburnt and they're really itchy. So niche. I know. Really random. But I'm always decked out in jewelry, and I have so many pieces that I love, and I'm always in the ocean. I'm always in the water with the pieces that I wear, and I wanted to kind of just finally be able to share some jewelry with you guys, because everybody's always asking, oh my gosh, where did you get this? Where did you get that? And I just wanted to share some pieces that you guys can fall as in love with as I have. So it's a really cool collaboration that I have coming up. And the reason that I'm mentioning that is, one, to get you guys excited, May 15th. I'll tell you a lot more as we get closer to it. But again, I don't even know if it's like top secret or not. It's not, but shut up, I'm moving on. I had to do a photo shoot for it yesterday. And for this photo shoot, I had somebody come and do my hair and my makeup. And I had two girls from the Electric Picks team come over to my house, and we all went to this photo shoot together. And the girl who shot our photos was one of my really great friends, Antonia. She's a super talented photographer here. She does like some film stuff and some digital stuff. You've seen her work before if you follow me. She's done some photos of me before and some photos of Gabe and I. But kind of beyond the point, the whole night before I could not sleep. I was so anxious. I was driving myself crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to be in front of a camera. I'm going to have to be, energetic and talk to new people and make conversation and be almost like, the star is totally the wrong word, but just like being in front of the camera sometimes gives me anxiety like no other. And you would think because I sit and I can confidently film a 30 minute podcast or make a TikTok every single hour. Like I can talk to my phone in private, but when I'm around other people, being in front of the camera is so tough for me. And I'm trying to just snap out of that lately, because it's so exhausting to just be afraid of yourself and afraid of who you are and afraid of what people are going to think of you. And we got to the shoot yesterday, and I kept reminding myself of that. I was almost like saying affirmations in my head, like, you look good, girl. You can do this. You're going to be great. Be confident. Don't be afraid to smile. Don't be afraid to do a serious face. Don't be nervous in front of the camera. Just work it, And I say all that, and then I made like two different faces. I could not. It was still really scary, and it was still really hard, but I felt better, And I think that the reason I go to say all of this is, one, I'd be dumping it all on you right now, whether it flows or not. I don't know. But you have to just kind of force yourself to get out of your comfort zone. If you're feeling extremely stuck, if you're feeling extremely horrified of like where you're at in your life, whether you're actually in a scary spot in life or not, you have to force change, okay? Nothing changes if nothing changes. We've talked about this a gazillion different times before, but it's so beyond true. If you're feeling stuck in your life, but you don't move, like what do you think is going to change? Nothing is going to change. You have to do something that immediately puts you out of your comfort zone. You have to do something that scares you. And I promise you, the second that you actually do it, you'll realize that you didn't have to be stuck for so long. You didn't, because it's easy. It's easy, and we make ourselves like a huge obstacle for ourselves. Just do something that puts you out of your comfort zone, and I promise you, it is going to help you, okay? Every single one of our situations is different. Every one of our careers is different. Maybe you're in school, maybe you're not in school. All of our problems look completely different. But the answers are all the same. The seed of all the answers is the same, okay? If you're uncomfortable in feeling stuck, if you feel like you're in a deep hole, a deep pit, you're stuck in the quicksand, you have to do something out of your comfort zone. It's really the only way out. You have to change something. And sometimes you have to change it dramatically. Like sometimes you can't take baby steps. You have to make dramatic changes. And I feel that I did the baby steps for a while, and I definitely made progress in doing the baby steps. And then I just said, F it. We're leaping. And that's what I'm on this week. And I have to say it's been going well. We'll have to keep you updated on how it's going, but I hope that this can give you something, because I was tired. Another thing I'm struggling with, another little life update, I guess, per se. I am having a problem sleeping. I don't know if it's because I'm getting old. I don't know if it's because I've been in this constant loop of just random thoughts and this like weird anxiousness. And I just wake up in the middle of the night and I start thinking about things that don't matter, things that aren't even going to happen, things that are just a dream, things that are fake. So if anybody wants to drop in the comments, and once I figure out the solution to this, there will probably be an episode on it, ways to just help yourself sleep better at night. I don't like to take melatonin. I have really bad nightmares the one time that I took it, so I don't really want to try it again. But I know there's different supplements you can take that can help your sleep. Willing to try anything at this point, so let me know. Another little tip. This morning, actually, Gabe was making a to-do list. FYI, if you're new here, Gabe is my fiance, love of my life, best person ever. He's a personal trainer, and he recently left the gym that he was working at to start his own business, to be his own trainer, his own boss. He's always wanted to create something from the ground and pour into his fitness and his faith and like do something amazing. So for one, I'm so proud of him. For two, if you are looking for like a monthly program, weekly program, anything of the sorts, send me a DM. I will send you his way. Or if you know his Instagram, you could find that too. But this wasn't supposed to be a plug for him, even though I will plug him anytime because he's the best. But he was making his to-do list for the day. And I kid you not, guys, my to-do lists, you can imagine what they look like. I usually make something on Monday and I call it a brain dump, and then I scribble, write things down. I try to put some order to it, but there isn't really any. Granted, our situations are very different. Our careers are very different. His is a bit more straightforward than social media can be, and his brain is a lot more structured than mine can be. And yeah, but he made this to-do list and it was so simple. The top of it said to do, and then he wrote down like 8 things, and by the end of the day he checks them all off. I said, huh? Like, what do you mean you actually check all the things off of your to-do list? And he just writes them down in a simple way. And I said that to him. I go, oh my gosh, like your to-do list, just, you make it look so easy. And he goes, well, you just have to simplify things a little bit. And at the time, I can't lie, like in my head I was like, bruh, it's not that easy. We can't all just simplify things. And like always, he had a little something that was right in there, a little something to think about in there. Gabe just like doesn't even know he's throwing out wisdom, and he's throwing out wisdom. And I think that in the future, any partner that you choose to have, like look for that. Look for somebody who can teach you things without meaning to teach you things. It just happens naturally. They just have a gift like that. It's one of Gabe's biggest green flags, and I love it about him. But he told me to simplify things. And I said, you know what, you're right. I'm going to share that, and I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to add that little piece of advice to my life, and I'm going to give it to somebody else too. And can't give you an example of it because, like I said, that happened this morning. So I have yet to make another to-do list. But I really do think that we fall victim to making things way more difficult than they have to be. Not to like make this about us, but I really do think as girls, it's something we struggle with more. After living with a man for a couple years and, falling in love with one, it is really true what they say that men are simple creatures and girls are a bit more to deal with in a positive way. I think that we bring a lot more to the table, That's why we got 17 different gazillion moods and personalities, and it's fine. But it's true. We make things so hard sometimes. Sometimes we make things hard because they're supposed to be hard, because we are more emotional thinkers. We think about other people more than men do sometimes. We think about a lot more factors. But sometimes we can let some of those factors go. And I want you to practice doing that, and I'm going to practice doing it. And that's the last of that. The last thing I wanted to tell you guys about, really random, but this is life updates. I know we've gotten a little sidetracked on advice and other random things, but I went to Guatemala to tour our wedding venue. And again, if you happen to be new here for whatever reason, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're not new here, I'm getting married in November and I'm having a destination wedding in Guatemala. And I put my deposit down on the wedding venue before I had ever seen it. And, that's just very much something like in my character to do. You guys know. But it was beautiful and it was magical and it was just the most amazing place ever. And I can't wait to show you guys more. I've already posted little bits and pieces of it on my Instagram and my TikTok. And I'm actually going to post a whole vlog on my YouTube if you want to go watch that. I'm in my vlogging era. Be proud of me. I know. I'm very excited. But yeah, it was so cool. So I guess I will tell you more about that. You'll see more of it in the vlog. I don't want to take up too much of your time today just talking about me. We've done enough of that. I hope that you learned something from this, or took something away from this, or just maybe got inspired to post a video on the internet from this, or delegate something that you have going on in your life, or tell somebody that something's bothering you or upsetting you, or just like make your life easier somehow. I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you tuned in. We are doing every other week episodes now, so I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. Also, trying to figure out what day you guys like me to post the most, or if it doesn't matter to you, leave in the comments or DM me on Instagram whether or not you want me to keep uploading on Wednesdays, if there's a day that you like better, or if it literally doesn't matter at all. Feel free to let me know that too. Let me know other things you want to talk about, people you want to talk to. I'm so endlessly grateful for you guys. Thank you for caring about the Moments podcast enough to still be listening. I hope to see it thrive and grow in the next couple of months, years. We're going to keep this thing going till we can't no more. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it is a goal of mine to do some kind of live show / event. So since I'm making you guys comment about 18 gazillion things, comment if you'd want to come, if you'd be down. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to follow everywhere else and, buy the Moments Journal if you guys want one. I love you so much. Bye.